So, good morning, everyone. Lovely to be back with you on this Tuesday morning and continuing our exploration of samatha practice and samadhi, and maybe understand a bit more and then experience a bit more of this harmony of the being, which was our title for this week. Before we start, just a bit of the framework as usual. You find in our new technical environment here, the chat box on the right, where you can put in your questions. So roughly this morning will be 20 minutes, no, rather 15. Try to keep it short and sweet. 15 minutes of me giving some fresh ideas and inspirations for our practice. And then we try to put them into meditation right away for another 20 to 30 minutes. And at the end of that session, we have the possibility to share with each other your impressions, your reflections, your maybe challenges, questions upon the practice, and that all can go to the chat box. And if you want to help me out, write in capital letters question before your or reflection before you start typing, so that I see that it's not something which belongs to your communication with the Sangha, but which is something which is addressed to me, and then I can respond afterwards. And I'd be very, very happy to be in touch and in communication with you. And if someone is very daring this morning, you can come on screen in those 15 minutes we have, and there's this symbol of the hand on probably right below where you see me talking, and you can use that to come on screen, and then George will make magic happen, hopefully, and I can actually see one or two of you and have a direct, immediate conversation, which would be lovely as well. Okay. And last thing I would like to mention is that George just put into the chat box the donation link. We don't have one in this technical environment, but of course, if you like to support and keep those sessions going, you might want to give as much or as little as is possible and appropriate for you to Sangha Life and the teachers, myself this week. So thank you for everything you shared so far with us and with myself. Very, very grateful for that. Okay. Let's share and have a look at Samadhi practice this morning. So I don't know how you came to meditation, and I don't know how you perceived meditation up to this point in your practice. I know for myself that I got introduced to breath meditation first, and with this claim that I have to focus on the most extended period of time possible to breathing. I saw it in myself, definitely. I see it in practitioners since today, that this can cause a lot of pressure, frustration, and it actually might add to tension in our practice rather than liberate us from tension, because we very narrowly, exclusively try to focus on the breathing or some other object, and we labor with it. It's really laborious at times, this practice, especially if the mind is not in a condition where it settles easily on something. Yeah. So I wish actually to draw this week a different pathway to a practice of harmonizing, collecting, gathering the heart mind, which starts at a totally different end. Yeah. It's not about this willful act of concentration. It's more about easing the mind into a condition, creating the appropriate environment in which the mind actually can settle and rest upon an experience. And where I wish to start this exploration from is today to say, well, what about relaxation? What about easing? What about soothing? What about grounding this mind as the very first step in our samatha practice? This might sound a bit too easy or a bit too soft. We might be used to practice with a lot of oomph, with a lot of strength, with a lot of force. So my suggestion is just I give the inspiration, and when we go into practice over the next couple of 4 days over the next 4 days, and you just see whether this gentle, slow, easing approach has actually a gathering effect for you. Give it a try. Give it a try, and trust into the easeful way of practice a bit with me this week. So relaxation comes for me with various aspects. When I speak about relaxing the heart, mind, relaxing the body, it's as much about giving a sense of reflecting back to the heart, mind, a sense of comfort and ease, a sense of being safe and sheltered. It's about giving actually permission to rest and arrive. Giving ourselves permission and invitation to rest and arrive. And a way of, it's very much relaxing is also the way in which we relate to our experiences. No matter what these experiences are, it's about changing our perspective to them. They are not problematic. They are not between me and my samadhi, but something we care for, nourish, soothe. So the way we relate to experience can be different if we come from a relaxing intention. This relaxation can feel complicated and very challenging at times. I totally admit that. And this is why today's session is called The Art of Relaxation. Relaxation is not something we can decide to do, but it's actually a skill we need to practice over and over and over again. We can become really skilled in relaxation, but that takes time and practice. And saying that, relaxation to me is an art form because it's not a one recipe, to say, oh, every time I come on the cushion, I do these 3 things and then I'm totally easeful and relaxed. That's not how it works for me. How it works for me is to say I will have to be in contact with body, heart and mind, as we did yesterday. Take this inventory, take stock of what is actually going on in body, heart and mind. And you will notice, if you do that, the types of agitation, the almost flavors of energy, which are within body, heart and mind, they will differ. They will be different on a daily, maybe on a weekly basis, with all the ups and downs in our lives we go through. And every type, every flavor of agitation or energy needs a different response. Or response to different ways of practicing. Making an easy example, if you're exhausted on the cushion and the mind can't just bring up the energy to narrowly focus on anything, because and it might totally reject any idea of narrow focus because it has labored hard over some problem, some challenge, some work. It needs a different kind of food or response than, for example, a fearful agitation in the being. It needs a different response than when the mind is overstimulated with sensory impressions, and thus, if it comes to something as simple as body and breathing, it experiences a lot of boredom. You're saying, oh, that is just not enough stimulus. I'd rather look for something more intense. Where do I get that from? Let me get off the cushion. That's way too boring. And you see all those different states of energy, mood, agitation within us, they need different responses. So our relaxation work is very individual, very individual. We need almost to go out into the world and become artists of relaxation and see what food is appropriate for this heart mind. I can't even tell you specifics to say, I can do that in a one-to-one session, but I can't say it for all of you out there. That would be very disrespectful to you. I want to hand you back maybe the inspiration to become your own artist of relaxation. And the response to the practice needs to be authentic. It needs to be authentic. There is no reason in doing some formula taught by some teacher somewhere or in a book or anywhere. and you don't feel a response. An authentic response to relaxation can be somatically felt. It will feel good. It will feel like something is opening up, relaxing, opening, soothing. Yeah. So you can trust your body. It's showing you whether a practice is working for you or not. So this is the very first step into our samadhi practice, at least for me. Yeah, this is how I understand it. I will speak more about the difference between concentration and a focus on well-being in a samadhi practice tomorrow. But for today, I just invite you to practice relaxation with this ahimsa in the background, this non-violent approach. I'm not pushing the mind upon something and then trying to wrap it around and hold it there with a lot of force. Yeah. But I'm inviting the mind to something it actually likes to experience. Yeah, it actually has a nourishing, beneficial effect to it, and then it will say at a certain point, maybe I can stay here for a breath or two or three. Yeah, and then it hops away again, has something else to do, and eventually comes back and say, oh yeah, let me get a bit more of that. I like to speak about the heart mind, the chitta, like a bird. Yeah, you can imagine that a bird is a very fragile creature with a lot of potential dangers and threats to its life. In the skies with the larger birds, and on the ground with maybe the cats and other creatures who like to eat birds and their eggs. So a bird is having actually pretty fragile existence. And therefore, birds will be very vigilant, yeah. And if a bird is under threat, it might be hyper vigilant, looking around, yeah, not able to rest. Or the bird is busy doing bird things, flying around, doing something. And the more there is to be done, the more there is perceived as threatening, the less likely it will be that the bird is coming into its nest, or at least on some branch, and be able to rest. And I would say we experience this agitated bird state very often when we come into our meditation practice. Trying to tell this bird to say, well, now sit down and relax, yeah, with this imperative of this is what you should be doing. It's working very much against this bird's conditioning. Yeah, it might be too frightened. It might be too agitated. It might be fed too many information. And it would be an act of force to say, settle down. So maybe we can prepare a nest, or we can say, wow, the invitation is to come to this nest and settle down. And the bird might try for an exhale and an inhale and then go off and do something else and say, well, that is actually okay. That is actually okay. We do ourselves a huge favor if we come to our cushions or our formal meditation or our practice in general, almost expecting the mind to be like a bird in the beginning. What if the expectation, maybe the unconscious expectation of I come on my cushion and then things should go smoothly, I should be able to focus quickly. What if we drop that? What if we drop that and see it rather than saying, well, I almost expect to come on the cushion on having this alert, active inner sense. Yeah? And I think if we expect that rather than expecting ourselves to be able to focus quickly, we do ourselves a favor. The one thing which is challenging then is that we find this agitation of body, heart, and mind, which we then meet, oftentimes uncomfortable and a bit disturbing. Yeah, it's not pleasant. It's just not pleasant to come in an agitated body, in touch with an agitated heart mind. We find ourselves circling around, doing the dishes and then mopping the floor and then reading a book and then having a cup of coffee, and then I will practice, and then I will practice, and then I will do my practice. Yeah, which kind of postponing the being in touch with the discomfort. And the first thing which brings some relief to myself is to say, I'm expecting the discomfort. It's part of the first 5 to 10 minutes of my practice. I just know that this will happen. And the second thing which helped me very much is to say it's uncomfortable, but it's not a problem. It's uncomfortable. I don't like how it feels. I don't prefer this kind of feeling, but it's not a problem. It's not telling me something about my mind is wrong, or I'm wrong, or I'm living a wrong life, or I'm having wrong living conditions, or there's something off with me. No, this is just how the mind is in the beginning of the practice. And when I can hold this discomfort, yeah, saying I can accept this, I can handle this. It's just a agitated mind, but it's not something which says something about I, me, and mine. It becomes easier to practice with. And then it's just it can actually be a play of curiosity and experimentation to say, okay, I have this heart mind today with this sort of energy, this sort of mood. What does it respond best to? And this is where our tool set of relaxation practices come in. What works for me under these circumstances? What helps me in daily life? What has helped me in formal practice? And that can be anything. Yeah, I would not say that coming to the cushion, sitting still and breathing is always the appropriate way to relax. We had it yesterday, saying a little movement can do miracles to us. I might go for a walk before I even try to sit down and calm myself. I might dance to music. Yeah. What is relaxing your heart, mind, your body in an authentic way? Now I've spoken a lot about relaxation, and I need to make another disclaimer, because that is something which pops up in our communities a lot as well, is that we then feel a certain pressure to relax. Yeah, I should know how to relax. I should make this work. How much relaxation is enough relaxation? And we might feel under a lot of pressure to come to 100% of relaxation and ease very quickly. That can then further fuel the agitation and the painful self-reference. I should be able to do this. I should be able to handle this better. Be careful with that. I'd rather think of relaxation like peeling an onion, yeah, where I celebrate every layer of every peeled layer. Yeah, every peeled layer of relaxation is beneficial. And not only is it beneficial to body, heart, and mind, but it's also something I can enjoy during the process. This is so important to me, to make relaxation almost a joyful, a pleasurable process. To say relaxation is not an annoying duty which I do in order to function properly, or which I do in order to meditate. It's already part of the process. And it's already something I can really enjoy. We will do it in a minute together, to find the joy and the pleasure in the relaxation, to almost savor these layers of tension which drop away, even if they're very small and tiny, to become aware, receptive to them. And the other thing I wish to mention is that we don't need to become prey to perfectionism here. In my personal experience, in order to have some samadhi, harmony of the being, it's not necessary to be 100% relaxed. It's not necessary to have 100% perfect outer or inner circumstances. Just enough grounding, soothing relaxation, so that the spirit can be able to settle in an experience. Yeah. You might, if you imagine the bird's world will never be perfect. There will always be cats around, and hawks and other creatures which are potentially threatening. And same for us. We will never come to a state where there are no challenges, no problems, no discomfort, and perfect outer surroundings. So it has to be possible, even with a bit of agitation within us or outside of us, to find harmony of the being. And I know from my personal experience, for example, I had knee pain during meditation practice. And with this process of samatha, the knee pain did not fully go away. It was, although I have to admit that it wasn't 100% knee pain. It was like something which was bothering and a bit niggling, but not something crucially. But it kind of dissolved into the background over time. It was still there. I could be in contact with it. I could notice it. But it was something shifting to the background. And that was such a relief to me to know, oh, it does not all have to go away before I can gather and collect and sit with a still being. Yeah. Final claim, and then we practice, is that we could almost say that all the rest of the path of samatha practice, of harmonizing the being, follows relaxation. It's this chain almost to say, if I relax body, heart, and mind, that contributes to pleasant experiences, that contributes to joy and contentment. If I have a little contentment, it will be easier for the mind to settle. A settled mind contributes to clarity and stability in the being, and clarity contributes to wisdom. And this is how this chain works up from relaxation as the initial starting point. So maybe after this attempt to motivate you to trust a bit into relaxation and enjoying it, we kind of practice. And we're going to practice a slow form of relaxation. So I invite you to sit with me, or stand with me, or lie down. Doesn't really matter the posture. And I will make a couple of suggestions on relaxation practice, but please feel free to just try out and see what works for you, and just drop all the other suggestions which are not your cup of tea this morning. Arrive in this body, heart, and mind. Awareness gently touching how we do this morning. Before we do anything with, offer anything to body, heart, and mind, let's first take inventory. How am I this morning? What is the body energy? There might be parts of the body which feel very alive and active. Other parts might feel heavy or even a bit sluggish this morning. There might be parts of the body which feel uncomfortable. And yes, they do. But maybe we can drop the story belonging to that discomfort. How is the quality of the mind, thoughts, thinking, commentary, analysis, self-referencing this morning? How is the pace of thoughts and thinking? How loud is the chatter in the mind this morning? And finally, we come to our realm of affect, our affective side, moods, emotions. how we feel. And finally, let's look at the quality of our attention this morning. Choose any object, sounds, perception of feet or hands, or the breathing. And invite your mind there for a couple of breaths, just to see how easy it is to connect and to stay with an experience. What does the heart mind do if it's invited to pay attention? Okay, and now you've got some information about how body, heart and mind, what the quality is this morning. And now we gently start soothing, relaxing body, heart and mind. We might just start with feeling the ground, the contact to the earth element underneath, to see what points of the body touch something solid, like a chair, the cushion, the mattress, the sofa, wherever you are. Something very simple. Every time there is enough mindfulness, we show the mind, the heart, something solid, something stable, maybe leaning a bit into it, giving it some more weight of the body. As if we could invite the tension within us to dissolve down to the earth element. And for some of you this might work, and for some not. That's okay. And if it works just a tiny bit, can you be aware of any pleasant feelings coming with a layer of tension, dissolving, lightening up a bit? Can you actually enjoy your relaxation? If there's a lot of activity in the mind or in the body this morning, what if that was just okay? And every time you get an opportunity, every time enough awareness has gathered, you just show one more contact point to the ground, one more invitation for the being to settle into the earth element. Setting a short, sweet impulse. If the mind runs off again after that, that's okay too. We trust in the gentle persistence of our practice. If you like doing that, please feel free to continue. We now shift towards feeling the spaciousness around us. This body is surrounded by space. I just assume there's nothing immediately threatening, pressurizing your body right now in the next 10, 20 centimeters of your body. There's safe space all around you. And just inviting the body to slowly, very slowly, like melting into that spaciousness, offering it to the body. And practice like you have all the time in the world for this art of relaxation. Body might respond in tortoise pace, very slowly. And again, every layer of tension in the body is ready to give up. Will come with a slightly pleasant feeling. It doesn't have to be very exciting or intense, but be nourished by it, receive it, and showing the mind to say, oh, this relaxation thing, that actually feels good. Please be careful not to do or to make the relaxation happen, not to work at it. Maybe the image could be of offering that spaciousness or the earth to the body, to the heart, the mind, showing it, remembering it of the opportunity. And then allow the body, the heart, the mind to respond to that. I will shift perspective once more, but feel free to stay if you actually are enjoying this very much. We invite body, heart and mind to do nothing at all, no task, nothing to achieve, no one to be. Not to feel anything in particular. Even letting go of this modus operandi of the meditator. I'm meditating. Let go of that too. Just give permission to be. If some things come up which might be about the day which follows, saying, thank you, mind, for reminding me. But right now, I give myself permission to rest in this moment. I'll take care of that later. Maybe it helps to imagine a friendly figure, person, animal at your side, which is actually giving you this form of permission, saying, well, it's absolutely okay if you rest for a moment. I'll keep you company. I keep you protected. For the last couple of minutes of our practice, we turn towards breathing in a very easeful, gentle way. Can we receive the inhale? Don't have to make it or make it happen. Notice how the inhale, without our doing so, opens up the body, fills the lungs, stretches gently the breath body. And the exhale is a return to this state of doing nothing, being no one. You notice though that breath meditation immediately kicks in some pattern of labor, work, narrowed focus. You're free to return to any other form of practice. Or you might want to rest in just being for a while, and every now and then contact the breathing, being breathed in a way. Now just to end this practice, the invitation is to rest your attention on the very same object it shows in the very beginning when we took inventory. the hands, the feet, the listening, the breathing. And just see how easy it is now, or difficult, to take contact and rest with this experience for a couple of breaths. Okay then. The invitation is to gently start moving, stretching, or maybe yawning and sighing. And whenever you feel ready, you open up your eyes and come back to the screen. So, this was our morning's practice, and now would be time for you to either come on screen or share a question or a reflection in the chat box. I'd be very happy to be in touch with you. And yeah, let's see what comes up.
Well, Caroline has a hand raised, so I'm going to invite her. I don't know if it's still okay for her to come, but I will invite her and we'll see. Okay?
Great. Looking forward to. Yeah.
Hi, Ulla.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for that beautiful meditation. I have a question about, you were talking about your knee pain, and I just wondered at what point do you, because so much of your practice is about being kind to the body and listening to the body and not forcing the body. At what point do you say, okay, this pain is not actually good for my body right now?
Yeah.
I understand about sitting with the pain and feeling into the pain. And I just, for you particularly personally, because I've read quite a lot about it, but because your approach is so gentle and loving for the body,
Yeah.
that I'm interested in finding out what you have to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I think that's for me. It was always a question about how can I make my body feel relaxed, soft, welcomed, comforted as much as possible. And then we all will have niggles and pains at times, which even though we try to the best of our abilities, there will be some discomfort. And I notice for myself, if I took well care of my body, and that includes not having to sit in a cross-legged position and not having to force myself through a sitting practice if it doesn't feel well. I do a lot of practice lying down, for example. If I took well care of all of that, there might come a point where I see, okay, and now the body's well taken care of. Yeah. The pain is tolerable. Yeah. Tolerable to the, and what I mean with tolerable, that's important, is to say I can, draw the attention away from it. I can settle the attention somewhere else, and this niggle will is possible to stay in the background. Some other pain is just very loud and screeching, and that is a different kind sort of experience. And then I noticed that now it's important, if I stay too much with the discomfort, too much with the painful niggling experience, the mind will get raw and fragile. Too much of the discomfort will create a lot of friction and disbalance in the mind almost. So I set the kind intention to say, out of care for myself, I will draw away the attention from the discomfort, and that might be emotion, that might be a knee pain, towards something which is actually nourishing and supportive. Ruth, does that give an idea or anything you would like to respond back?
No, that's great. I suppose giving permission to oneself to shift if necessary, shift one's position, and that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, I mean, I come to retreat, and when I teach retreats, I talk about it a lot, and it takes 2 to 3 days until people start trusting that meditation practice in the lying down posture and in standing posture and in walking posture is equivalent to sitting. Yeah, it's we have a very manifested idea about appropriate proper sitting. Proper practice is always in the sitting position, and that is just not the case. Yeah. Great question. That will apply to a lot. Okay. So let me see whether there are more questions or anyone else wants to come up. Okay. Okay, lovely to hear that many of you enjoyed this kind of practice. And there was another raised hand. Maybe George would be able to bring Jonathan on. We'll see. Lovely. Laura said she noticed that as the tension left her body, she felt warm. Yeah, that is so interesting how the whole perception of the body can shift with this relaxation. And you might also notice that it's not true only for the body, but it will apply to your moods and your feelings as well. Yeah. When the mind starts to settle, to have more spaciousness, more ease, moods will, just like the body starts feeling warm, moods will feel different. So, and maybe you noticed, I think this is what we're going to do a lot this week, is just take inventory at the beginning and at the end of the practice. And to say this relaxation practice will enable you to have a more collected mind, which is more ready, more willing, more mature to actually settle. Yeah, maybe you noticed that already, to say, wow, relaxation is a preparation for a practice of collection, gathering of the mind. Yeah, Caroline is responding to the metaphor of the bird. To be reminded of that anything which the heart mind throws up, yeah, all its agitation, its contraction, it's there for a reason. It's there for a reason. It might not always be helpful and skillful, but it's there for a reason. And it's not the mind trying to work against us. It's trying to work for us, but it's doing so in its sometimes unskillful ways. And seeing us meditation as a practice of responding to the heart mind, caretaking of the heart mind, can allow an important shift to happen in our practice. So. Beautiful. Now Jonathan is on. Let's hear his question.
Can you see and hear me?
Yes, I can. Lovely to see you.
Oh, Great to see you. Hi. Really great meditation today because of the gentleness. I guess two things. I mean, you did mention hands and legs, but my body is so I'm so in my head sometimes that I forgot, not so aware of my legs and feet. The other thing is that, so I was lying down today. I feel like like I almost got like a scared baby in me, like in my chest and size
Yeah.
of a baby from my belly to my solar plexus. So I put my hands on there, and I've been doing it for quite a while now, and I just wonder whether it is just an upset. You know, they talk about the body keeps score, whether that is just something that needs to be soothed in me. And I just wonder, firstly, and secondly, Buddha must have talked about the other forms of meditation, but particularly the lying down one. I mean, I'd be curious if there's any more sort of thoughts from in the early Buddhist text about lying down, because in fact, do the early Buddhist texts talk about all four poses? I'm guessing so. That is so legs, scared baby, Buddha.
Great. Let me see one after the other. First, just see the conditioning of the mind. We are out in the world doing our jobs, most probably a cognitive work there. Yeah. And therefore we're living a lot of the time through our mind, analytical mind, cognitive mind. And when we come into meditation, we notice the access to bodily experience is very few. So what you can actually try to do, just experiment with it if it helps, is to move. Almost you could start a meditation with massaging feet and hand, because that would almost allow you to come into the body, feel the body with some more a higher intensity of input, and get out of the mind or balance out this mind body hierarchy there. So that can be a beautiful entrance to meditation, touching something, massaging something. And then I love the idea of holding the body. Yeah. If you benefited, you said that in the beginning, you benefited from the kindness in the meditation. Holding ourselves is a very kind approach to meditation. Holding that which feels maybe vulnerable and soft. And it might well be the chitta, which is just like due to old karmic patterns, displaying, saying, oh, there's something raw, something soft in here, I want to be held. If the response to holding yourself is a pleasant one, a relieving one, please feel absolutely free to continue doing that. That is, if the authentic response of yours is saying, yeah, that feels good, that feels relaxing, softening.
And Ulla, it's almost like I need my hat. It's almost like I need my hands on the bare skin of my chest and solar plexus. Normally, this is fine, but currently, I never see monks or nuns have their hands touch their bare skin. But I'll bear that in mind. Yeah, sure, I'll give Sorry, please carry on. Yeah.
Now that links to the next question. There are periods in or mentioning of the lying down posture in the ancient texts, of course, very much as relaxation. When there was tiredness in heart and mind. We read about the Buddha lying down in the lion's posture, where he lies down and has one foot standing kind with the sole of the feet on the ground and the knee up, just to make sure he isn't falling asleep completely. But now we need to talk about cultural adaptation. It was easier for the monks and the nuns to sit in cross-legged position. They had, I would say, less sensory input than we have. They had less of a busy life going from A to B to C. So much more relaxation already included. We need to culturally adapt those texts so that they fit to our heart minds in these days. And if you say, I want to touch, I want to have bare skin. I'm reminded of holding babies, with bare skin. That is the first bonding we have. If that feels appropriate and no harm is done through that, please give yourself permission to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the sitting on that cushion for so many years, thank you so much for your teaching today. Just it is my mind is conditioned now that I'll show you my Zen cushion
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
want to be on that all the time. But yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. I think I speak to you and so many out there. So many of you know what feels good, have a longing for what feels good, and something is just not giving permission to say what feels good and soothing and settling is okay to be doing. Experiment with that and give yourself permission, please. Yeah. Okay. And feel free to be in contact, Jonathan, with your explorations. Thank you so much. So there were a few questions I did not have time to answer today. I will be in contact with George and we will collect them and I will come to them tomorrow. Okay, so thank you so much for being here with us this morning. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the difference between a practice of well-being, as the Buddha emphasized well-being in the Samadhi practice, versus a practice of pressure and concentration. And that is something very important to explore tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to do that with you tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you for all your support in all of the different ways you're supporting Sangha Life and myself. And looking forward to be with you.